Okay, and we're back, folks. Mark and I still in isolation, still dealing with the COVID.
Lockdown day 5, I think it is. I can't remember. I've lost track already.
I don't know. I just cue the music.
My bad. I need to get that ready. uh,
We're really professional here. Not just okay, and we're back. So, what I wanted to do is kind of still sticking with this isolation that we're all in and we're all experiencing. I thought twofold. It's probably going to be two separate clips, but I wanted to maybe talk about and touch on some of the recent, maybe the most recent comic, graphic novels, something like that we both read. A little bit about it, what we enjoyed about it, and then maybe also branch that out to some of the other things like recent movie or series that we managed to take in, and again, what we liked about it, didn't like about it, and then what I wanted to do as a secondary or sort of offshoot from that was I've plucked out some of my, I should say, recommended reading or some things that I think folks have the means for online, or if they got them on their shelves, now would be a good time to pull this off and read it because, yeah, they're great things to keep you busy and occupied during this time.
that sounds like a plan, dude. So do you want to start with what you've read most recently and kind of your thoughts on it?
Yeah, sure. So I recently picked up this, if you can all see it.
Dial a hero. Dial for hero.
Dial,
Dial
Dial
H for a hero.
H for hero. There we go.
So,
Dial H for hero. This is the first volume. Apparently, it's a two-part volume. It was 12 issues in total, so they've done six. And it was recommended to me by our good friend Dev the cartoonist. Big shout out to Dev. And the concept and the story so far, I'm kind of enjoying. It does tie in to the DC sort of world and the DC continuity. So there's Superman and all the others, the Justice League, the Hall of Justice. The characters do go around America through Gotham, Metropolis, etc., etc. But the one thing that blew me away and I'm loving about the story is its basic concept is if you get this telephone that they call the H dial, if it's in your possession, anytime you want to, if you just dial H, so normally on telephones in the old days, there was the numbers. I think it was A, B, and C were marked to number one.
yeah.
And then D, E, F was marked to number two, whatever it is. And I think wherever H would sit, you go, then you dial H, and then it's sort of this power zaps you from the hero verse, and you become a whole sort of superhero.
It's funny
And
how that's considered old now, man. And that's like the phones we grew up with, eh?
I know, right? I mean, in the digital era with touch screens and stuff, people don't really know that. But yeah, so this kid gets the H dial, and yeah, anytime he dials H, he gets imbued or he transforms into some sort of superhero. And the thing that I like about it is, I'm sure I can find you some pages. So it's got like general, pretty cool kind of art, if you see it over there.
Yeah.
Quite a nice style. And then what I love about it is every now and again, as soon as he hits the H dial and he dials H, as he transforms into that hero, whichever hero it may be, the whole art style changes. I mean, this over here becomes very Jack Kirby-esque.
Yeah, definitely.
In the overdone figures, the sort of contorted bodies and stuff like that. And as long as he's that hero, that art style is how the comic goes in. And as soon as the power fades away and he transforms back to the normal kid, it goes back to the original art style.
Nice. And out of interest, dude, who did art on it?
A whole series of guys. The main general artist is says here Joe Quinones. I think Jordan Gibson inking. And I don't know if it's Quinones that each time is doing the different styles. I mean, here's another one where this girl that goes on with the guy, she's on this sort of journey with him, and she dials the H dial, and you can see over there
Yeah, how drastically it changes, yeah.
very, very Mike Allred,
Mm.
the guy who did Madman, and he's currently doing X-Men and a few other things. So the art style shifts to the Allred kind of art, and it just carries on. That's the general theme throughout the book. Each time someone hits the H style, whatever kind of character they become, the entire art style shifts to meet that character. So at one point, the kid dials the H style. He becomes some kind of giant robo mech from sort of Japanese anime, and the style shifts to that. Even his facial expressions become very animated. It's awesome, and
Nice.
I would really recommend it to anybody who would enjoy that kind of unique marriage to it. If you enjoy just the art of comics, this book will give you a whole assortment of different art styles, etc., married with a pretty cool story so far. I still have to read volume 2, so I don't know how it ends. But yeah, so far, really loving Dial H for Hero, man.
Nice. Definitely check
And
it out.
and you, what did?
Yeah, dude. So mine's a bit more of an oldie and a simple one. So I just read the Pro. Show
Okay.
you and show the camera. That's by a gentleman by the name of Garth Ennis, which I know you know already. Script and art is Amanda Connor, I think her name is.
Yeah.
And for those who want some kind of catch up and don't know so much about comics, this is the same guy responsible for Preacher
Yep.
and The Boys. He's the brains behind that and did all the comics before it went to the screen. Yeah, dude, and I'm not sure where to start, but first of all, if there's any young people out there that's straight up age restricted, you know, it's 18
yeah,
at best.
not for youngsters.
Yeah, and I mean, you know me, dude. I tend to like jump into like, you know, dark, like, you know, metal and Batman stuff and Constantine, which I mean, even Garth Ennis has done some Constantine, but
And some good Constantine.
yeah, but surprisingly, I still enjoy this. Like the humor in it, but and it is so over the top. And Amanda Connor's art really does it justice by how. So just for anyone who doesn't know, the Pro is about a prostitute who's imbued with powers, and she gets drawn into what is a clear ripoff of Justice League, and they called the League of Honor in this comic. And there's every rendition of Superman, of Batman, and there's really funny stuff like Robin that's always gripping onto Batman's leg. Like, it's so overkill. And I just love how there's two extreme worlds where they're so overly good and then she's so overly terrible in like the worst way. You know, there's nothing in the middle. And, you know, like, and there's such, I love how Ennis has thought these silly things through that it's really funny. Like when she fights with them, like two of the things off the top of my head is like, you know, I mean, they got Green Lantern there, which is like a ripoff of a gangster rapper, but he's flying and he like tries to abuse him and they shoot his finger off. It's such a simple concept. He's screwed without the ring. It's so simple, but so silly and so funny. And I mean, then she runs in and they're trying to like handle the suicide bomber, which something else I want to caught me off guard. I didn't realize it's like 2012 release, so it had a lot of 9/11 stuff in it. But and then I mean, the suicide bomb's got the bombs and everything, and she just rips his arms off and has the bomb. And it's like, it's so simplistic, but so well thought out. But yes, as anyone can imagine, I mean, she is a prostitute at the end of the day. So there's a lot of, yeah, you know, like hectic stuff that way. I won't get into that. So you'll just be prepared for that. You know, like there is cringe moments, but it's because Amanda Connor's driven that through so well that this is what a prostitute's life would be like if she was trying to raise a kid on the side. You know, like, and she's got a costume with half her nipples out and she's constantly pulling her G-string out, you know, like a wedgie out. And she's like, so like, yeah, it's rough, dude. But again, that's exactly what it should have been. So, you know, I know we had a mutual friend that's like, oh, it was Garth Ennis's, you know, middle of the line writing. And I disagree, man. Like, I liked how edgy it was, but still so funny. And for me to say that, like, I don't enjoy like stuff like that often, but yeah, it was cool. I digged it, dude. So, yeah.
I'm with you, man. I read the Pro years ago, and I think it was around 2012 and stuff. And dude, everyone in the comic shop recommended to me. They said, dude, this is right up your alley. I'm a big Supes fan. Any kind of superhero comics, I do love them. And yeah, exactly what you were saying. I loved that take on them. Don't take this stuff so seriously. Let's pull the Mickey out of it a little bit. Let's kind of show some of the flaws to these characters, like you're saying, a guy who's got a superpowered ring, well, whole finger gets locked off. Like, what does he do then? For those people that don't know Garth Ennis, he's not a fan of superheroes in general. So the Pro was his first real stab at them. He's also not a fan of modern day religion in terms of its archetypes and its structures and things like that. So the Preacher is very anti the whole religious establishments. He did Chronicles of Wormwood, again pushing those boundaries. The Boys is another direct stab and punch at the superheroes, kind of saying if these guys were imbued with godlike powers, it would go to their heads.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be these stand-up, wholesome characters that we all think or believe them to be. Behind the scenes, they would be pretty flawed, dark, twisted, whatever you want to call it. And he's constantly doing that kind of stuff. So it is a nice take. And going back to what you said, the lightheartedness of the Pro, and I agree with you that Amanda Connor's art complements that just perfectly and beautifully. And I love Amanda Connor doing female characters. It's a woman doing woman, and often there's one of those criticisms that sometimes guys do too much bum, too much boobs, over-exaggerated figures that aren't quite realistic to the human or the female form. Amanda Connor can do that, but she does it in a very soft, feminine, cartoony kind of way that I really enjoy in her art. So yeah, I agree with you, dude.
Yeah, and just for, I suppose, I mean, you did it, so maybe let me try to find something that's not too crazy, but I mean, here is some of the art. I don't know what I'm showing at the moment, but yeah, and I would recommend it, man. Anyone who wants like cringe and laugh at the same time, it's great, you know.
And it's a nice story that you can read quite quickly. It's not going to take someone a day or two to digest that story. It's a relatively fun, light-hearted, quick read.
Yeah, definitely. It took me a little bit longer, and that was like 2 evenings, and that's because I literally pick up. There's so much in my collection that I still want to read, so I start reading the beginning of everything and don't follow through, which is part of my something I just got to work on. But yeah, man,
like something you want to take into your marriage, man.
But yeah, but I mean, I got through it quick, so I think anyone else could if they just knuckle down and give it a read. So.
And they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Nice. I think on this tip, on this topic that we're on, have you seen any cool movies, or maybe started or finished any cool series recently?
You know what, dude? Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was thinking about this as you said it, and I haven't been watching there are many new series and films, surprisingly, even on lockdown. We're playing a lot of PlayStation and stuff, but there is a few things that came to my mind. There's a series that was on Showmax for us. I'm not sure what the American equivalent is. I don't know what network it is, but it's called The Handmaid's Tale. And Kira's watching this, dude, and it is so twisted. It's rough, man. Like at first, it's one of the series that didn't catch me, and then Kira kept watching it. And dude, even if there could be like a future that's so grim, and you also sit there and you cringe, man. It's like
sure.
So I mean, that I can recommend. It's very drama based for anyone out there. Another one, it's a little bit old now, but it's easily something that could have went by on the Netflix screen and people could have ignored. And that's a 3-part mini docu called Don't Fuck with Cats.
Right. Yeah, and you were telling me about that. That's the serial killer dude.
So what it is
the guy who was evolving to one or something.
Yeah, exactly. So there was, I don't know the exact year, it eludes me now, but there was a kid that went on the internet and he uploaded a YouTube video. He was he didn't blow himself up, but he hid himself in a hoodie and he suffocated 2 kittens and he put it on the internet.
crazy.
And it obviously got quickly taken down, and et cetera, et cetera. And there was a group of people that started a Facebook group and tried to follow him, where the cops kind of just were like stumbling and no one knew where they were. And the people also didn't take, the cops didn't take the people seriously on this Facebook group. And then it shows you, I don't want to tell too much, how it unravels. And eventually he does lead to killing, but he does every serial killer trademark. You know, he blends in.
For those people that don't know, there are 3 key indicators to serial killers. First one is an obsession with fire and setting fires and watching things burn. Second one is, believe it or not, bedwetting. Sure, all kids go through it at a certain phase, but constant, persistent bedwetting right up even to your teens. And the third one is cruelty to animals. And there you go, you hit the nail on the head. What happened to those kittens? That's textbook serial killer indicator.
There's this underlying sort of message that's a bit harsh, but is that, and the people that followed him and try to catch him, which eventually they do. Spoiler, but is that, did they aid him in what he did? Because what he did for attention. If you see his clear patterns, and they were supporting that by trying to hunt him down and created Facebook groups and this and that and that, and it just gave him more and more and more of a high.
Just fueled his ego and his want.
Yeah, and he's a young kid, man. And as far as I know, he's in prison now. I don't know. I'm sure for the rest of his life. But if you're sensitive, I would still say watch it. But I know I've got a few friends that like love kittens, and they refuse to watch it. What I can say is the graphic parts they do cut out very cleverly in the interviews, but you still have the audio playing. Is very
it's like implied as opposed to actually shown.
Look, they do start the videos, you do see bits of it, but they cut away just in time for your imagination to finish the thought, if you get what I mean. Like,
that's worse.
Exactly. And so it is a bit of a it's rough, man. But yeah, and then the last one is this is only if you've watched season 1. There's season 2 of Altered Carbon. I don't know if you've watched that. Very cool concept. Yeah. And, I was in and out of it. I wasn't focused, but the whole Blade Runner feel that show's gotten everything. It's really cool done. The action, all that. So that's the only 3 things that really jumped up into my mind. I don't know if you've got anything, dude.
Well, I have some commentary on that. I haven't started season 2 of Altered Carbon, but I am going to watch it because season 1 was awesome. Yeah. It was brilliant. You've got an explosion sound effect, don't you?
Yeah, somewhere here, man. I just don't know which one it is. That's the problem.
I'll make something.
Wrong sound, sorry.
So yeah, I need to watch season 2. But on that note, also on Netflix, there's an Altered Carbon anime that I watched. Not a full series. It's just a one-off hour and a half or so movie. On the exact Altered Carbon thing, and it's specifically around this Yakuza kind of family. And I must say, dude, it was awesome. Really thoroughly enjoyed that. Good story. Clever, cool kind of twists that I didn't see coming.
Nice.
So yeah, for the anime fans out there, if maybe give the movie a look, and it might sway them onto the actual Altered Carbon show. Very, very good one. Linked to what you were saying, an old favorite of mine, tried and trusted, is Criminal Minds. Nice. About serial killer FBI profilers. So that's where I got a lot of my knowledge on serial killers' behavior, what they do, things to look out for. So I think they've done 15 seasons of that show. So a lot of content for people who are interested in that kind of crime and getting to understand those crazy psyches. And then I think a series that I watched recently, still on the anime front, was Netflix has Castlevania.
Yeah.
Binge watched season 1 and 2, and they came out, and season 3 came out, I think, the beginning of this month or March. And that was amazing as well. Nice that they're carrying it on. For anyone in the comic sort of industry and circle, gamers, anime, etc., the gamers will know Castlevania because of the old Nintendo games. It's written by Warren Ellis, comic book writer. He's done some epic comic book stories. So just the content, the animation, definitely 2 thumbs up recommendation for me. Give nice. Castlevania a run.